Hi there, this is the first part of trying to put my little house together. I'm going to do it in lots of little bits and put them all together as one video. I think that's theoretically what I'm going to do. Now, I've read through my instructions completely. This is a little house. Now, this is 1/48 scale, so it's tiny, tiny, tiny. Not the smallest you can get, but it is still a very small little house. Perfect for my Smartdolls. That was the aim for it. So she's probably going to join us on a couple of these. So I've read through it all as instructed. I'm a nightmare. I read instructions, then go to make the thing and completely forget what I'm supposed to be doing. I've also had a good read through the book, which is great to get. So if you do decide to get one of these from Petite Properties, this book is great. I've had a good read through it and it does help you in certain areas. It'll give you an idea of tools and things like that. So I'm going to put this to one side and we're just going to do part one of gluing it together because we have to wait for it to set. That is the other thing. Now, I had a read through on the sort of products to use. So I got a couple of bits because obviously with the situation we're in at the moment, it's hard without waiting to sort of get things ordered online. So I wanted something relatively fine. So that was Pound Shop. That was B&Q. So they're both PVA, approximate PVA glues. And I'm not sure whether that is a PVA. It just says it's a dry glue and acrylic glue. Is that PVA? Is not acrylic, is it? Is it? I don't know. I might go for that. I don't know yet. We'll decide in a second. Picked up some really cheap paintbrushes just to sort of, if I sort of spill anything or anything. And I managed to get these from the Pound Shop because they recommended some long nose pliers. Probably better off paying for some better quality ones. But for now, it was the quickest and the only way I could do it. So these are the first parts I'm going to pop together. Now, when I did the first video, I pulled that out thinking, oh, that must be a side. I'm like, where's my other side? Where's my back? I'm forgetting how small it was because my other dolls' houses are 12 scale, so I'm like anticipating everything being big. Of course there isn't any more sides because that's the back. These are the sides and these are the floors. So the first thing we're going to go for is this little base is going to have a little edge there because can you see there is a small lip here? Can we see that? I'm not sure where I am on the camera because I had to put the camera higher. This little lip here has to equate to that because that is going to stick in there and that on there. So I'm going to grab some scissors and I'm going to, I think I'm going to go with the B&Q glue, to be honest. I have now just cut the top off it, so I'm hoping I'm not going to make a mess. I really could do with getting some sort of applicators for the glue because it would help to make it neater. Otherwise you're wiping bits and pieces off. I have some tissue over there if I need to. I think I'm going to go for applying it to this. Let's see how fast this comes out. I hope it don't come out fast because it's going to go everywhere. Oh dear. That's not too bad, I suppose. This is why you need a fine nose applicator. Bear with me, I'm just grabbing some tissue because I know I'm going to make a mess because that is going to squidge out a little bit. That is way too much. So definitely invest in some. I have seen some online. I was going to get some, but then I got impatient and I wanted to do the video, so this is why. So hopefully for the next couple of videos I might have some. So this is going to sit on here. Now, like with any glue, you're going to have to wait. I'm going to put it down that way. That might be easier. I'm just going to carefully wipe anyway any excess there. I'm not going to overly worry about on the inside. Need to make sure it's staying on the edge. I know somewhere in the book she says sort of count to about 50 and that means the glue should be tacky enough by then. That's actually glued quite quick. Now, because obviously you're going to paint over all this, you can sort of get away with a little bit, so keep it as smooth as possible. You need to sand something down after the fact. You can do that, just be careful with it. It is an MDF wood, so don't sort of be too rough. That is actually held quite well, so that means I can actually, you see, I'm not so messy. I can go for this straight away. Now imagine when this is going in here, it's here and here the glue is going. So on here, it's this edge and this edge. So this is where again I'm going to get a little bit messy. The glue's already coming out. Definitely fine applicators thing because this is also quite hard to hold because it's a bit big. I suppose I could have tried the little one, but I really don't know whether it's the same product. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on both sides there. Can we see this okay? We can. Never done one video like this, so this is a bit of fun. Or not if it goes wrong. Right, I'm going to pop that in, lay it back on its back. So I'm going to hold it in place, theoretically, and then a bit more tissue. I'm not known for being organised, so this could be fun. You should see me putting a piece of flat pack furniture up. It does work though, I always get there, but I have a tendency not to read any instructions. So I'm just getting rid of any loose glue and just holding that into place. So I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think if I let go, it might stay there, I hope. No, it's not, it's leaning back a bit. So I'm just going to hold it again. I recommend counting this 50. So you're looking at about a minute to hold it. I'm hoping I've got enough glue in there. I can always add a little bit into the back afterwards. So the next bit I'm going to be looking at is the sides. Now you can see these little dints here. These are as far as the floor is concerned. But if you can see here and here, there is a little nodule. So I think that's pretty clear. It's there and there. So just out of curiosity, before we glue, does that fit? It does. So that is what we're looking at. So these have to be at the front and these are at the back. I mean, there's no front and back as far as the actual wood's concerned, so you sort of can get away with it. I'm going to try and let go of that. Please stay there, please stay there. You also could do with a set square, which is something she did recommend. My son says he's going to, I couldn't find one in B&Q yesterday, but I'm just going to pop that there. See, if you haven't got the right tools, you can always bodge it. You can always find something to do it with. So this is the edge that is going to stick to this edge, and these to the little nodules. So let's see how I go with the glue with this. It might help hold that up. But I definitely do want to invest in the right tool. In fact, I'm going to pinch one of these really cheap paintbrushes. My son's got some gorgeous paintbrushes because he's got a lot of Warhammer paintbrushes, because he does and also army painter ones, which are really good quality. But I was just thinking just for the glue, just to move the glue about, so I didn't want to pay out. These were just cheap pound shops. So let's have a go. Let's just make that a bit neater. I always end up over gluing. I'm going to pop a bit in there and a bit in there. I've got glue all over the table. We need to get rid of it there. Oh my dear, don't give up my day job. Right, so this is going to stick to this, and so I'm going to move this book over, and I'm hoping I'm not going to stick it to the table, and I'm going to slot it in there. Oh, I know where I've missed a bit of glue. I need some along there as well, don't I? Can you see what I'm doing there? A little bit there, and a little bit there. I'm just going to, again, spread it out with my paintbrush. Now, if people from Petite Properties watch this, apologies for my bodging, but we will get there. I will make sure that I do it. Ta-da! And this is where your set square would come in, to make it nice and even there. Like I say, I'm going to have to get Thomas to get me one made. Let me just get rid of that excess glue in there. Elastic bands are also something that are recommended, and pegs. I don't think I need pegs for this part, but for later parts it might be something that would be quite useful. So I'm just going to hold that, make sure, let me move it off at the table, make sure I've not stuck it to the table, because as you can see I've got glue on the table. I always tell everybody off if they use my craft room and they get glue and paint on my tables, and it's me now that's getting glue. You could look at that perfect square there from the book. So perhaps we don't need a set square. No, I'm going to have one, because he says he's going to 3D print me one. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it'd be a bit of a fun. He likes playing with 3D printer. I think that's going okay. Perhaps again, if you sort of tie something around it, that's when perhaps the elastic, I haven't got any big elastic bands. It's not something I've ever had. But it would be a good idea. Maybe I should go to, when I go to the supermarket, I'll see if they have any. But obviously we're limited with shops. It's just essential shopping at the moment. So I can sort of, it's not really essential shopping, is it? But if I have to go to the supermarket, which I will do at some point, our supermarket's quite good and it's got lots of different things like that. So I'm going to leave that in there, and I'm going to think this has got to be the other side, okay? So along this edge, make sure I am getting the right side. Yeah, again, it's the same up or down, so we'll get away with that. And let's get a bit of this glue on. Ooh, so it's really hard to hold this. A little bit in there, not too much, and a little bit in there. And again, think about where we're going, that way, before I put the glue on the wrong bit. So, oh, no, silly girl. I have done it wrong. Look at that. Can you see the distances here? That would be the first floor. That would be the second floor. That would be the third floor. If I put that in there, it's wrong. Lucky PVA glue doesn't dry too quick because we can get rid of it. And so I'm going to let you see bodges and all on this. I'm not going to edit it to show that, oh, I perfectly put a house together. I want to show you that anybody can do it, but think about it and hopefully I'll make the mistakes and you won't. So let's have a look. So we don't want it that way. We need it that way because we need the smaller bit, smaller bit. Now they would line up nicely now. So that means the glue has to go on this side. The glue is starting to hold though. I'm trying to press the speed. So I know I've had some PVA glues when you bought them from Pound Shop and things like that, and they don't always hold. Right, let me get the brush. So I know this is only a cheap brush, but I will make sure I wash it out afterwards because if nothing else, it's going to be useful for doing things like this, just to smudge glue about all things. And the little bits. Now again, have a look. It's got to be that way, remember. Which means I need, it's approximately there to there. I've just sort of drawn that so I know. I do have some funny ways of doing things, I know. Right, fingers crossed I've done that right this time. I'm going to remove the book, but you can see that's holding quite well actually. And I am going to be popping in this here. Yay! If there are any tiny gaps, like there are there, and I know it's not because of the way I've done it, because it fits snugly that side, you can always use, again, the book describes how you can use fillers, etc., or glue even to fill gaps. And by the time you've painted them up, it covers all that, especially if you've got a textures house. Let me get rid of a bit of spare glue in there and along my table edge. So you can see that is the main frame. Let's have a look. If you turn it round, that's the position. So you can see roughly the size of the house. How cute is this? It's going to be beautiful. And these, I think we can sort of see where they're going to slot. Perhaps I should have done one side first. Oh, I just realised something. That's it. So that would go in there. It might have been worth popping in the one side and then popping the second one on. Let's have a look on instructions. I bet she said that. I bet they did say that. But it's just me being disorganised and probably not doing it in order. Oh, it doesn't matter. I've already done it now, so it's in. So basically, each of these floors are going to have to slot in into the back and into these little slots here. So you can see how neatly that fits. So I'm not going to glue that in for you now. I'm going to glue that in when I turn the video off because you don't need to watch everything. Yeah, look how snug that's fitting, and it's holding everything now, which is lovely. We have our last one. So again, you can see, same as when we did the bottom, you would need a little bit of glue inside the slot, or you could pop it in the slot, but it would go on the table, so that's why I've not done that. We would need glue along the edges. You could put some glue along, all the way along actually. So that would be top and bottom to fit in the actual slot. But this here is to actually stick onto the other pieces MDF, and a little bit in here as well. Just slot it in. Like I say, I'm sure they probably, oh, a little bit pulled off there, it'll be okay. I'm sure they're cringing when they watch this. I say apologies me if I'm making a bodge of this, but we will get there. We will get there. It just shows anybody can make these little houses, even if they've not sort of done one like this before. So that I'm now going to glue in the floors. So we have our 3 floors. Look how tiny that is, and would you believe it, they make furniture to fit this size as well. And also the little stand I did mention before. I want the little stand. It's not available at the moment, but you can click on it, sort of let me know something's available, if you know what I mean. So I want this little stand for it. So hopefully this It will. It's going to look like this. I'm really excited about finishing it. There's also some advice about what glues, not glues, what paints, etc. to use on the leaflet. So you do need to really read that through. And if you want to get some other ideas, get the book and read through that as well, which I've done both. And I still go wrong because it's just how I am. No, nothing wrong with anything else. This is where a nice big elastic band would be good. Hold it in place. We know we've got some squares, so we're all right there. I've not had to worry too much about a set square, but there we go, the first part. So I'm going to be doing bits at a time. So that's part 1. They will all be added together, I think. So that's took us 15 minutes. I suppose, would I do them in separate parts, or would I make it one long video? I'll have a think about that. But this is video part 1. So I'm just going to say, if you did enjoy that, please like, subscribe and share. And I will see you in the next section very soon. Bye.